When all of us were kids, we used to go around mountains or even around our hometowns looking for secret hiding spots or places to just explore. But many of us didn't get the chance to explore famous monuments or regions in search of secrets. Well, today on Top 5 Best, we've narrowed down our searches to the top 10 secret hidden places in famous locations. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Number 20. JFK National Airport. I'm sure that any of you viewers out there that have had the chance to travel through the JFK National Airport, you may have caught a glimpse of a certain terminal with a sloped roof and huge windows. Well, that contraption there is the Trans World Airlines Flight Center. The Flight Center was first opened in 1962 and had featured a bar and a lounge. But when Trans World Airlines went out of business in 2001, the terminal was shut down and was closed off to the public. There's been chatter for years about reopening the terminal and using it either for a conference center or perhaps even a hotel. Number 19. Disneyland. Places that resemble the likeness of Disneyland help adults free their inner child. But even then, most adults realize sooner or later that they need some alone time, away from all those screaming children. Well, that's when the secret Club 33 comes into play. Club 33 was hidden near the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. There's a little undistinguished door with nothing but 33 inscribed upon it. This is the exclusive members-only section that anyone may join for $10,000, plus an annual fee of $3,500. And this is the only place in the entire park that sells alcohol. Number 18. The Eiffel Tower. Even though this beautiful landmark received less than a warm reception when it was debuted in 1889, the tower that Gustave Eiffel built had become a world-renowned landmark. Gustave had many famous people over, including Thomas Edison. However, what most people don't realize is that there is a luxury apartment housed at the top of the tower. Even though the outside appearance may not be as grand, the inside of the apartment is beautifully furnished, wallpapered, and carpeted. Most people didn't know that this place even existed until it was recently opened to the public in 2015. Number 17. Grand Central Station. Each and every day, more than 75,000 people rush in and out of Grand Central Station in New York. Even then, there are many that know of the hidden platform beneath their feet. Even though it doesn't lead to a secret train that leads to Hogwarts, it did serve another important service. When the Waldorf-Astoria Hotel was first built, the guests arrived through Grand Central. And in 1929, they decided to build a special station for the high-profile guests so that they could avoid the hustle and bustle of Grand Central Station. It opened in 1938, but by the 1960s, it was no longer used. Today, it remains unused and closed off to the public. Number 16. Niagara Falls. Even though Niagara Falls is famous for the amazing waterfall, there's also a dark secret, too. There is a small limestone cave off to the side of the Niagara Gorge, down the road from the falls, known as the Cave of Evil Spirits. The Seneca Indians have a legend speaking of a tale of an evil spirit trapped inside the cave for more than 300 years. Legend has it that if someone were to enter the cave and encounter the spirit, they would be cursed to a lifetime of misfortune. Number 15. Empire State Building. The Empire State Building, standing at 1,250 feet tall, being the fourth tallest building in the U.S. However, there is an outdoor observatory on the 103rd floor with panoramic views of New York City. This hidden top floor has none of the usual safety features of the lower observation center. The 103rd floor is reserved strictly for celebrities and high-paying observers. The only hint of it most people see is on the second floor, where many of the photos of Hollywood stars are displayed on the elusive deck. Number 14. Harvington Hall. Located in Worcestershire, England, there is a beautiful and famously known manor called Harvington Hall. It was built in the 1580s by Humphrey Packington and was later outfitted with secret hiding places that are known as priest hides. During this time in Britain, it was considered against the law to practice Catholicism. There are exactly 7 hiding places built within the manor to escape from the officers under Queen Elizabeth I. Number 13. Times Square. Many tend to overlook the 25-story building that serves as the main billboard in the middle of Times Square. The main billboard was constructed in 1904 to serve as the headquarters of the New York Times. And it did, until it became vacant in 1992. Rather than going through the process of searching for tenants, the owners decided to sell advertising space on the outside of the building instead. The screens that light up the street now bring in revenue of $23 million a year. Number 12. Disney World. Walt Disney World consists of 4 distinct parks: the Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and the Magic Kingdom. What many visitors aren't aware of is that there used to be a 5th section called Discovery Island. Discovery Island was originally built in 1974 and was dubbed Treasure Island. But ironically, people found that name rather misleading, as it had nothing to do with pirates. The island had housed a wildlife observatory before the Animal Kingdom was built in 1999. Shortly after the Animal Kingdom had opened, Discovery Island had closed and had almost been completely forgotten until 2009, when urban explorers had stumbled upon the abandoned, overgrown attraction and swam over to see what it was. Number 11. Mount Rushmore. Located in Keystone, South Dakota, as many of you know, it depicts the heads of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Theodore Roosevelt. Though it is visited by thousands of people each year, very few people are aware of the secret that lies within. The designer of the monument, Gutzon Borglum, wanted to build a house of records into the side of the mountain, which was meant to entail important U.S. documents like the Declaration of Independence. Number 10. The tunnels beneath the Las Vegas Strip. Little did we know that while many of us are in Vegas walking down the street having a good time with family and friends, there are hundreds of homeless people inhabiting the tunnels beneath our feet. Once you're in the tunnel system, it's pitch black. But luckily, they have the power of the flashlight to assist them. Now, this might not be a place you'd want to check out unless you're into that stuff. But hey, I guess I'll try anything once. Number 9. The Doge's Palace in Venice, Italy. Ah, the Venetian Doge Palace. Such a beautiful building filled to the brim with one-of-a-kind artworks. But did you know there is more to this place than just beautiful artwork? Beneath the palace is a prison that at one point held the notorious Giacomo Casanova. Casanova was jailed for owing large amounts of money, which happened soon after his grandmother passed away. To add, in the existence of the prison, Casanova was the only person who successfully escaped from the prison. Number 8. The Bathroom of Cardinal Vivienne. A beautiful bathroom that was decorated by Raphael Santi, who was an Italian painter and architect of the High Renaissance, in 1516, the bathroom is a part of Cardinal Vivienne, and what stands out about it most is that the scenes on the frescoes are far more suitable. The entrance into the bathroom resides in the former bedroom of the cardinal, where, as of today, the Pope conducts meetings with numerous world leaders. Number 7. The lookout platform on the Statue of Liberty's torch. Until 1916, the Statue of Liberty provided a staircase that had led up to the torch. But in that same year, the torch was damaged due to an explosion, and tourists were permanently banned from going up the staircase. And even though the torch was fully repaired, there are no plans of opening the torch back up to the public. Number 6. Secret apartments in Cinderella's castle. This room is what a princess fairy tale suite would look like in a very expensive hotel. On the downside, you couldn't rent the room even if you had all the money in the world. But you could get the chance to win such an unforgettable opportunity every day in January. Every day, Disney World makes a lottery for it, and whoever wins gets to stay in the room. Number 5. The White House. Many of us from time to time have heard stories about passages and tunnels under the White House. And frankly, some of these may be exaggerated, but there are some that are true. Just after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Franklin D. Roosevelt authorized the building of a bomb shelter under the east wing of the White House. But today, presidents have their own secret trapdoors for, of course, security reasons. In 2010, the press had become rather curious about a building project just outside the west wing of the White House. The project had been kept quiet for some time, but finally the word came out. President Barack Obama told the press that they were building a brand new underground command center. The old one, which was placed just under the east wing, was accessible through a trapdoor which had been placed under the president's desk. Number 4. The Tower of London. The name isn't quite an overstatement because it isn't really a tower per se, but a 900-year-old castle that has been used as a fortress and even a hideout for gangsters. Today, the castle is home of the yeoman warriors, also known as the Guardians of the Castle. Their role in today's society is to merely act as tour guides, but what many people don't know is that they live inside castle grounds among their numerous family members. To serve the yeoman's orders and their kin, there's a pub hidden somewhere on the grounds. It's open to the public, but only by invitation. So sadly, you can't just wink at a guard in a sexual manner saying, "Hey, can I get into the pub?" Number 3. Prison room in Big Ben. About a third of the way into the gigantic tower, you'll find a prison room. The room hasn't been used much lately for many obvious reasons, but it was previously where people of misconduct were jailed. The last time the jail was inhabited by a human presence was back in 1880. Way back when newly elected Charles Radlow refused to swear allegiance to Queen Victoria on the Bible due to Charles being an atheist. So the Queen had him thrown in jail overnight. But nowadays, the chances of you being imprisoned there are slim to none. Number 2. St. Basil's Cathedral. Created in 1561 by Tsar Ivan the Terrible, despite having, of course, religious origin, it has easily become the most well-known building in Russia and has a somewhat dark past that not many people are aware of. After the completion of the cathedral, Ivan the Terrible had ordered that the architect have his vision taken from him by force so that he could not create such a masterpiece ever again. Number 1. Potala Palace. Located in the former capital of Lhasa sits a mysterious green building that is approximately over 2.5 miles above sea level. Due to the high altitude of the building, it appears as though the building was constructed by angels that were sent from above. Also, the palace was built in the 17th century. It took over 7,000 workers and 1,500 artisans to construct this masterpiece. In the palace, there is rumored to hold an underground labyrinth that stores a collection of rare English books belonging to the Dalai Lama before he had been forced into exile.